After 15 years, my garden was due for a facelift, so I decided to go with Vego raised beds. I chose 6 17-inch beds and 2 32-inch beds with 3 trellises. First, assembling the beds. I found this part easiest on a flat surface, with the final assembly of the ends and supports out in the garden. After the beds were in place, it was time to fill them.
I've decided to give hugelkultur a try. I haven't done this before, but these are a lot of beds to fill. That means a lot of soil, and I just don't want to move that much soil. So what I'm going to do is line each bed with wood first, then debris, wood chips, sticks, leaves, stuff like that, then compost, and then topsoil. I have all my logs in place. Now that all my logs are in place, it's the next step, sticks and mulch. But here's my sticks.
A lot of compost.
So I got my final beds and I have to put on my final trellis. I already have 2 trellises up, but I thought I'd take a moment just to show you how to put these Vego trellises on your beds. I highly recommend, after making a couple boo-boos, doing it a little different than their instructions. For one, if you think you really want the trellises, I know that they're a little pricey, but if you think you're going to do it, I would get them when you first get your beds, because they got to be spaced a certain distance apart, and if your beds aren't already spaced that distance, then you got to dig them out, push them, pull them, whatever, and then put the dirt back in. So if you can do it ahead of time before you fill them with dirt, then you don't have that as an issue. Support brackets. Holes number 2 and number 5. You take their little support bracket and their little pins. So that's one support bracket in. Simple as that. They give you these fancy little tools. I actually got a ratchet because it's a little easier to use a ratchet than their little, but I'm going to demonstrate with the tools that they supply for you, just to tighten things up. But that's why I use a ratchet, because this thing for me goes flying. But tapered end goes up, tapered end goes up, and make sure when you put the hole in, it lines up with the hole at the bottom, because I did that not paying attention once, and like, they're hard enough to get in without having to deal with that. Put that little thing in just to make sure that it's inside the hole. Cap and top one. As the instructions say, build up and then around and attach everything, and then all the crossbars. It was a pain because I'm up on a ladder and my arms are up here. I discovered it's easier to put the arch part together and then just lift it and set it down into place. You use these crossbars at all the connecting points. Don't want to do it really tight all at once, because when you wiggle them in, you need a little bit of wiggle room to get inside the main area, and then you can come back and tighten them all up after the fact. Just gonna line them up here. Once you get the first couple, and the rest are pretty darn easy. On the lower part here, where you're supposed to put in a support bracket here, put that one in before you put the top on. Just lightly tighten it. But don't forget to put your plugs in. Okay, I have all the cross brackets on, but they send these little plugs, these caps, solid caps, that go in all those holes. So again, this is another reason to assemble everything when it's low. Otherwise you're up on a ladder and reaching, and it was just not fun. So I'm gonna go through and put all these little caps in now. So I thought I would show you just kind of how tedious this is, but it does clean it up and makes it look nicer. So you have to come through and put a little cap on every little hole, like so. Let's lift her up and see how this goes. All up and ready to go. Now I have all my trellises all lined up.
Yep. Okay. That looks good. Okay.
Adding the optional solar lights provides a nice evening glow.
Beautiful day. How's the cold frame doing?